a lack of motivation usually is caused by a lack of goals or vision.
Okay.
So if you don't have any goals that you're actually going after, because let's be honest, making a living in this industry, that's not hard,
Right.
right? If you just follow a basic process, you're going to make a living. What a lot of people don't realize is the big world out there that you can actually go and get.
Fire up.
Welcome, Senior Life family, to another All Fired Up podcast. I'm your host, Will Voorhees, and today I'm joined by Andy of Ace Insurance. Andy, how we doing today?
I'm doing well.
Awesome, man. So for anybody that hasn't met you yet or seen you on social media, kind of just tell us a little bit about who you are and how you got into the business.
I've been in different parts of insurance for 12 years.
Okay.
Final expense, I've got about 7 years.
Okay.
And really what brought me here was just the opportunity to kind of create. That's what attracted me to the industry itself, is I kept seeing people, their lives were changing, things were happening that
Right.
they kept building and growing and growing. And I was at a turn, at just a point in my life where I really needed something to change.
Right. So what were you doing before the insurance side of things?
I was actually when I started in the industry, I sold property and casualty.
Okay.
Over the phone, which was
Yeah, not
not at all my
Okay.
thing. Not at all my thing. And then I got into insurance adjusting, so I was a catastrophe adjuster. So I
Okay.
traveled all over the country, hanging off the sides of houses and buildings
Okay.
and stuff like that. So
Some fun stuff when you're young, right?
yeah, and then I realized I needed to have something where my feet were on the ground.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, so that was so when I got into this industry, what I saw was I was really exposed to a lot of, I don't want to say glitz and glamour, but just people that were living a different kind of life, that almost like you saw it on TV.
Right.
And I didn't understand how these little $30 and $40 and $50 policies
Add it up.
rolled up to all that stuff. So
Right.
I was hooked pretty quick. But what I really, like I said, I got really super excited about was just kind of as the opportunity continued to grow over the years. What I saw was really people's lives changing over and over, and in different ways.
And that's awesome to see and actually be there for the change. So previously you were in the broker space. Kind of tell me about what it was like being a broker, and then how that transition was coming over to a single product.
That was it was a big transition for me. But I had actually done that before.
Okay.
Before I was a broker, I had done a single product kind of approach to things, and it had its benefits. But it really, what attracted me to the brokerage space was, they kind of showed these big numbers, like people made
Right.
crazy money, and it was just like at some point it just kind of attracted me away.
Yeah.
What's great about the brokerage space became really difficult when it came time to build
Okay.
or do anything beyond just writing business. So there was a lot of opportunities that were there that just, you had to have massive money and be able to move whole mountains by
Right.
yourself. And not a lot of people were involved and really interested in helping you do anything. In fact, they most of the time would work against you.
Right.
So what really attracted myself and a lot of my family to Senior Life was the total opportunity that presented itself, and all the protections for growth
Okay.
and the ability to grow
That's
across the whole country.
Awesome, man. And so I'm in y'all's group, and I like to peek in there day to day and just see what you guys are doing, and it's very supportive. I like seeing you guys celebrating all the wins that y'all have
Oh, yeah.
every day. Kind of just tell me what it would be like as a new agent. Like what's my first week look like?
So we have an onboarding process that we do for people
Okay.
as they're coming on, and it starts before our training. Really, we give them a couple of exposure to the group. We have a process that we do as we onboard them that involves classroom as well as some video study and things like that.
Okay.
But their first week in the field, they're out with somebody else who's already successful doing exactly what they're going to be doing. So they're watching hand in hand just exactly what their weeks are going to look like.
Okay.
And I mean, it's been pretty crazy since
Yeah.
we've kind of implemented all this process for onboarding people. I mean, we've had people 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 $1,000 in a week.
Right.
And we've had a couple people who've done like $5,000 days.
That's crazy.
Just, you know, you're obviously not by themselves at that point because they've still got somebody who's
Yeah.
You're kind of a
someone
trained
to
pro.
help and-
but when you see that firsthand, it really does. It's almost like it makes you believe that you can do it too.
right. It's motivating.
And once you see somebody do that, it's just like, you know, when you see, I remember the first time I saw somebody write $20,000 in a month, and I went, oh, what? How do you do that? And you realize it wasn't any different than any other month. It was just they bought more leads, did more work, they put more time in.
Right.
And then you see somebody write 30,000 and your jaw drops and
Yeah.
all over again. And now you see some of the numbers I mean, just some of the people at Senior Life put up, it just
Right.
blows my mind that a single person can produce that much.
Yeah.
So
It sounds a little bit more hands-on than just, you know, the YouTube video kind of on board that
Absolutely.
a lot of other systems, I guess, have.
Yeah.
So I guess what would be some tips you would give an agent that's maybe not as motivated, or, you know, they've had a lot of objections, just a lot of stuff that they can't seem to overcome mentally? I guess what would you say to that agent?
well, there's a few different things in there to unpack.
Okay.
So when people have a motivation issue, to me, it's really just you haven't seen the whole opportunity and where it can go.
Okay.
So many times there's levels to everything here. First thing is how to become a successful agent, right? That's what you learn. That's the basis of everything we do here.
Right.
And when you're around the right group, what they will do is then nurture you into the next stages of this thing, which is either growing your own team or, you know, scaling you in a way that allows you to go to the next level. And you talked about our group me.
Yeah.
The biggest thing about that is so GroupMe is just a group texting application. Literally all we do is talk to each other throughout the day. But it is one of the places I have gone when I'm having one of those days.
Yeah.
And you just see the encouragement that gets passed back and forth on there and the cheering for, and you want to be a part of that stuff, right?
The excitement.
So there's a couple things. A lack of motivation usually is caused by a lack of goals or vision.
Okay.
So if you don't have any goals that you're actually going after, because let's be honest, making a living in this industry, that's not hard,
Right.
right? If you just follow a basic process, you're going to make a living. What a lot of people don't realize is the big world out there that you can actually go and get.
Yeah.
And so we talk a lot about being specific with our vision, specific with our dreams. I didn't want a truck. I wanted a red Dodge Ram 1500 with a tinted sunroof. I wanted all that stuff.
Right.
So I was very specific about my dreams and goals, and that's what I wanted. So to me, that's the lack of motivation. Just really is people don't understand the opportunity that sits in front of them.
Okay.
Now, objections and things like that in the field, that's part of the process, right? You have to learn to overcome those things. And I don't know if this is a great analogy, but it's definitely the one I use. You can't, how do you eat an elephant?
Okay. I know where you're going.
It's
Yep.
one bite at a time. That's it.
Okay.
So you have to learn the basics first. And when you've got a group like this that pours into you, it's just an opportunity, one step. You learn an objection. Of course, we train some of the basic ones, but
There's new ones all the time.
that's right. There's
Yeah,
new ones
it's
all the
sales.
time. But when it comes down to it, there's really only a few things that people can say.
Yeah.
And when you have a presentation that's built as well as ours is, it really takes a lot of that away.
Okay.
And our product and our process, and I mean, I can't say enough about the process that we have, because when you start with the leads department and you realize that we have the best lead in the industry, you get it in a timeline that is insane.
Yeah.
And when you really understand that, you've got a lead that is a very, can't be more fresh.
Right.
It's got their handwriting all over it.
Mm-hmm.
And you walk up to a door, introduce yourself, and you remember sending this thing in, and yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like
You
I'm
know,
the guy.
and when you follow that part, then you sit down and give the presentation the way we teach it. We're going to take a lot of the objection away that most
Right.
salesmen do. So I interview constantly. I interview every day about the people who have a heart of the servant are the ones who are going to succeed the fastest.
It reminds me of that saying, you help enough people get what they want, you get what you want.
Absolutely.
So you were talking about a specific vision. What would be the vision for Ace Insurance, or what are you most excited about for the future?
That's a pretty big dream. I've got a really big one for myself personally that involves military members as they get out of the military. I really want to provide a next step for them.
Okay.
And that's a big one.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah,
That's a cool.
Yeah.
I like
so,
that.
I, as an Army guy, when I got out, I spent a lot of years kind of pushing back against the system and
Yeah.
thinking I was perfectly okay when I wasn't. So my dream is to provide the next step after you're done, and I want that to be a place where you can come and not only be exposed to the opportunity. Honestly, to be exposed to the opportunity to see in your life would be amazing.
Right.
You have a bunch of military guys running around doing this. I think it would be awesome.
Yeah.
But guys that just need time
Yeah.
to kind of decompress and do some of the things that they need to do in order to be able to kind of go back to being a civilian.
Yeah.
So
I'm
that's
sure
a big one.
Yeah,
but,
I'm sure that's a big transition as well.
It is. It's absolutely for a lot of people. And it really does. It ruins a lot of great people because they don't take the time to work on that stuff.
Yeah. It's really inspiring.
Yeah, I could talk all day about that. But we've got some nearsighted stuff too.
Okay.
I feel like it's goals should be built in levels, right? And so first things first is we really want to be able to take control of the state of Ohio.
Okay.
That's our first goal, our first ambition.
Okay.
And we've got that. We talk about it every day. How close are we to that goal? And we speak life into that goal every single day. And so that's our first vision.
Okay.
And our intention is to do that by the end of this year.
Awesome.
So we've got a goal. We've got a time frame. We're going to hit that first. But the big thing is, what drives me in this industry is not in those end goals. Those end goals are things that like we look at as kind of like accomplishments in our lives. What I really truly enjoy is the opportunity that when people walk into my life and we lay this opportunity in front of them. It's the greatest gift I could hand somebody. It's just this opportunity in general, because what's it cost to get a license? $200.
Yeah.
And for $200, you could literally, that could be the moment.
Yeah.
We've all heard the stories, Apple in the garage, things like that.
Mhm.
I truly feel like
That's your apple in the garage moment.
that's your apple in the garage moment. And it could be, I get chills just saying that. But it's true. When you're given that opportunity to somebody, like that's how I feel. And to be able to offer that to people every day, what's better than that?
Yeah.
Really, what other thing would you want to do with your time?
Yeah, I agree with you. Andy, I want to thank you for your service. And if there's any final thoughts that you want to leave with somebody that might be struggling with that leap of faith or taking the next step, what would you like to leave them with?
It's okay to doubt yourself. When you surround yourself with the people like we have, the group that we have, senior life as a whole, but in our group, when you surround yourself with people like that will cheer you and believe in you for you, there's nothing better than that. You can rely on the people around you to help you move yourself forward. We're going to push you.
Yeah. That's
I'll tell you right now, we push people and we push people hard.
what you got to do.
But when you see what it can do for them, you really want them to have that opportunity to see it for themselves. So, the one piece of advice is surround yourself with great people. I'm lucky. I'm blessed. I'm surrounded by people who not only share my vision, but are helping me achieve my vision,
Yeah.
and as I help them achieve theirs. So
Love that, man.
that's it.
So how can the people find Ace Insurance?
Well, I've got an Instagram. It's Andy Sewell.
Okay.
I'm not real creative when it comes to some of this stuff. So it's just Andy Sewell, ANDYCWELL, and I'm obviously on Facebook. Andrew, I think it's Andrew Caldwell on there, and then my phone number is the easiest way.
Okay.
I'm kind of old school.
I gotcha.
So 614-202-7414 is reach out to me. If
Awesome,
nothing
man.
else, we can have a great conversation. And
Yeah. And is there anybody you want to give shout outs to? Anybody you want to plug? Kind of.
I'll tell you what, my mentor when I got into this industry, the people that at that time in my life, I was going through a lot. And he knows exactly who this is, and when he sees this video, he'll be
He'll
chuckling
know.
because he knows who I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
He's been a beacon of light in my life, and he's influenced my entire life, not only in this business but in my personal life. In every way, he's made my life better. So I would like to shout out to him,
Yeah.
but even though
He knows.
yeah, he knows who he is. And then, of course, my family, and there's been so many.
Man, thank you for sharing that. I mean,
I'm a
that
big-
was big.
I'm a big baby, so you got to know
I mean,
that.
There's big reasons behind it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, thank you for sharing with us, man. Thank you for joining us today. I mean, everything y'all have got going on, I love it. Y'all go follow Andy on social media. Give him a shout.
I don't cry in all my videos.
And thank you guys for joining us today. Tune in next week for another All Fired Up.
Fired up.